Assalamu alaikum, grade 9 students. Thank you for joining us on Edmodo. The purpose of this tutorial is to help you access the resources and materials uploaded by your English teachers for week 1. So this is the main page, and in order to do so, you have first to go and enter your class. Then from your class, you go to folders. And of course, since we're doing English, you go to the English folder, week 1. And here you go. These are all the resources that we need for week 1. As you can see, we have uploaded the textbook PDF for the selection. So if you'd like to use your device to read the selection, you can do so. You can access it. And then you can get back here. This is the online learning lesson plan. It's good to look at it because it gives you an overview of the skills that we're covering for week 1. As you remember, your novel project is due on the 29th of March. So it's good to look at this presentation that reminds you of the synopsis and of the requirements that you need to fulfill before you submit your final project. So it's good to look at it as well. Now, the main grade 9 English presentation, it is uploaded as a PDF, and this is your guide for week 1. So in week 1, we're doing from Rosa Parks' biography. And as you can see, the presentation is very similar to the resources that we use in class. Please look at the learning intentions because they give you an overview of what skills you're learning by the end of this week. As you know, and as you're all used to, we're starting with the vocab study skill. In your textbook, there are the targeted vocab words of the selection. You need to look over them, look up their meanings, and of course, you can do the online activity on Quizlet to enrich your knowledge of the vocab words and how to use them in different contexts. After that, you have to highlight 5 other words from the text that you're unfamiliar with and try to use context clues in order to figure out their meaning. Your assignment for vocabulary study is to create a presentation presenting the 5 words that you have looked up along with the clues that you have used in order to figure out the meaning. In the next slide, you have an example of how the final work should be submitted, and there are the guidelines as well. Please go over them because this tells you how your teacher is going to assess your work. You can submit the homework or the assignment using PowerPoint presentations or Prezi. Okay, let's move on to the second skill, and we're working on text analysis, characterization. I'm pretty sure you have prior knowledge about characterization, character traits, and in order to enrich your knowledge, you have to watch this video talking about techniques that authors use in order to reveal character traits and characterizations of or specific characteristics of main characters. Of course, after you watch the video, you need to go over your textbook and highlight examples of these techniques used by the author in Rosa Parks' biography. Then your assignment is related to a character head mini project where you're going to create a character head. You have the template attached in the resources. You can download it and start working on it. In this head, you're going to reflect how the author used different techniques in order to show Rosa Parks' character traits and to show her characteristics. You need to go over the guidelines here in order to make sure that you are reflecting all what is required. And this also shows you how we're going to assess your work. You have a waggle, an example of how the final product should look like. After you get done, you can take a picture or scan it and submit it into Edmodo. The final skill that we're covering is the reading strategy, and this is how to set a purpose for reading. So what does it mean to set a purpose? When you're setting a purpose, then you're being very specific about the specific details that you're looking for when you're reading a text. In order to do so, I want you first to watch the video because it's going to give you some tips on how to set purpose for reading. And then after that, I want you to do this task. It's not an assignment, but it's a task to help you practice how to set purpose for reading. You need to look at the questions and the point of the analysis and ask those questions yourself before you start reading. And then while you're reading, you need to find answers for these questions. This is simply how you set a purpose to look for specific details in a text. So this is the end of the presentation. presentation. And here you can see this is the character head templates. It's uploaded into the resources. You can go over it, download it, and do the work and then submit it into Edmodo. This is the end of this video. See you later, inshallah. Stay safe. Salam.